Hello and welcome to my tutorial on creating a gravity-defying bow. This is great for walking around the house, or your Lolita looks, or hey, for my Genshin Impact cosplay that I'm working on. It won't fall, it won't move about, and it will look pitch perfect every single time. So without further ado, before I hurt my head from swinging it around so much, let's get straight into the tutorial. So first and foremost, you need to decide on the fabric. So I used an incredibly lightweight red silk and a gold Dupioni silk for this. You'll also need matching thread, iron-on interfacing, and if you like, starch spray. So the first step in this process is drawing out the pattern. So I'm just drawing on some poplin that I have available. You can also use butcher's paper or just general parchment if you like, and cutting around. So my drawing is incredibly uneven, so I'm also going to even that out. And that's your basic shape. So I'm going to mark the middle now. And on each side, I'm going to draw the patterns that I want and make sure everything's in proportion. So on one half, I'm drawing my crisscross pattern. And using this, it will be my pattern for creating as well. So I'm just drawing out the lines that I'm going to cut, just so everything is perfect and lined up. Cutting one half will be my pattern for the bow itself, and the other half will be the pieces of applique that I'm going to be using. And after that, just cut it out. After that, I cut out my main piece on my red fabric, and I also added a little bit of seam allowance at the middle and at the ends. I wanted it to be a bit longer and make sure I didn't lose any width. After that, place all the pieces and see if everything fits right. After that, you're going to iron some interfacing onto the back of the red pieces. So I normally have a big piece that I put it on top of and then I cut around it. That way I don't end up with any missed pieces of interfacing. And iron. So much ironing in this particular tutorial. So place everything on there, make sure it's all fitting right and all looks correct. And then we're going to sew. So I use a straight stitch around the edge first. And then on the inside, I'm going to be using a very tight zigzag stitch. After that, I'm going to iron it into place, and it should look like this. And pinning everything else and sewing them down as well. And lots of ironing. So much ironing. Next, I'm going to pin my pieces together, right sides together, leaving a gap at the bottom, and sewing all the way around. And sewing lots of loose threads. So before I turn it outwards, I need to trim the edges to make sure I get a nice point. And then reverse it out. This took me way too long. Cool. And you should have a big flat pancake of some description. So making sure that everything is turned out right, that there's no holes, and then after you're going to check it's the right size, just very quickly. And then iron. So I put on some starch spray as well, and this just kind of stiffens it just that bit more and it won't kind of fall after that. So next up, what I'm doing is I'm placing a rectangular shape that goes from one side of my ear to the other, and this will be the base of the bow. Same steps, iron on the interfacing. Cut. And pin everything into place. Now, this time you want to leave the ends open. After that, you want to iron, reverse iron, and press everything into place. After that, you're going to grab your elastic. I made a casing for mine. You don't have to make a casing. I just like everything to match. And I'm inserting it into those open ends that we had before. And I'll be sewing over the top. Sorry about the blurriness. So after I've sewn it in place, I want to have a little bit of a tuck in there just to make it look like the bow and the headband is all part of one another. So I've pressed it in place. So I'm going to be doing this with the larger bow as well and attaching them together. So going to be pressing inwards and then outwards to create the defined bow shape. Inwards and then you're just going to push everything on the tails. Tails, is that the right word? Tails in place. And when you put them together, they should look like this. So that's it, that's the tutorial. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had fun. And if you have, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me which Genshin Impact character is your favorite or where you'd wear a bow like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!